Vladimir Putin has just delivered a stark, direct warning to the West, using a high-profile graduation ceremony at the Kremlin to declare that Russia is now fully prepared for a direct conflict with NATO. He framed the current international environment as increasingly unstable, explicitly accusing Western powers of escalating tensions to the point of no return.
We see that if earlier NATO countries limited themselves to supporting the Kyiv regime, which came to power through an illegal armed path with the help of a coup d'etat, then now in the West, they openly talk about the fact that they are preparing for a war with us and are increasing their military offensive budgets.
But the true message emerged once the formal cameras thought the work was done. In a candid, hot mic moment, the Russian president dropped the polished script to hold an unfiltered and informal chat with his senior military officers while toasting with champagne. Putin was unsparing, mocking the very leaders, pushing for deeper conflict while highlighting their domestic struggles. He pointed to the crumbling support for the West's pro-war establishment, hinting that figures like Starmer and Merz are watching their domestic approval ratings vanish as their publics reject the push for war.
Look at what is happening in Germany. All the political forces that advocate for aggression against Russia, all the forces that advocate for heating up the situation, for leading the case toward an armed conflict, their ratings are falling, and catastrophically so. And conversely, all those who want to establish normal relations, their influence is rising.
Behind the informal toast, his thesis was clear. He believes the public in Europe and the West is growing exhausted by the warmonger narrative, and he is betting on their political collapse to shift the tide of the war in Russia's favor. He warned that Western leaders are underestimating Russia's resolve to strike back.
They don't understand that there will be a retaliatory strike. I think everyone understands this, or should understand this. That is why they try in every possible way to distance themselves from this. When it comes to the Baltic states, for example, some Ukrainian drones fly there, but they still don't point a finger at Moscow. They say it's a Ukrainian drone.
He dismissed recent peace overtures from Kyiv as mere theater, citing continued attacks on civilian infrastructure as proof that the other side isn't serious, leaving him convinced that strength is the only language the West understands. He used the recent strike on Starobelsk to highlight what he calls the inherent hypocrisy of the West's diplomatic demands.
They are constantly talking about this. We want personal meetings. We want personal meetings. Well, so what? And 3 days later, a strike on Starobelsk. And how are we supposed to understand this? What kind of preconditions for personal meetings and negotiations are these?
As Moscow claims its forces are squeezing the front lines toward Konstantinovka, Putin is framing this conflict as a test of willpower, banking on internal Western fractures to ensure his ultimate victory. He remains confident that the momentum on the battlefield is moving entirely in Russia's favor.
Our guys are squeezing them at all sectors of the combat line, all of them. There is not a single place where it is the other way around. No, these drones, strikes on civilian infrastructure. For what? Well, to shake up society, create some uncertainty. But our guys are pounding them every single day, every blessed day.